In the final part of Module 5, we look at big picture planning. We have talked about creating the know and show charts. We've talked about prioritizing standards and breaking those standards down into the skills and knowledge that students need. We looked at how to sequence those and then how to write our daily objective. But if we step back and see the big picture, we know that it's more than just about one TEK or one unit or passing the STAR test. We want our students to graduate college ready, career ready, and that means they have to know more than what they need to pass the STAR. So we can't let that just be the measurement that we use. With our bilingual ESL students, we want to continue to focus on students being biliterate and being confident and being responsible students and citizens who are able to attend college and to have careers of their choice, to be the best prepared that they can be. So keep this in mind as we go through a quick review of the components. And Candace, if it's you watching this, I know this is just a quick review for you. During this unit, we did look at how to identify the standards. And we talked about, is it a prerequisite for another course or another content? Is this a life skill that kids have? Does accomplishing this help them, give them leverage in passing the test, or leverage in being a stronger reader or a better math student? So what beyond how many times was it tested on the STAR are we looking at to decide if it's a priority standard or not? And also, especially this first unit where there's a strong emphasis on listening and speaking, what are we doing? Are we considering the TELPAS? Are we looking at the PLDs that are a part of the TELPAS exam to see where our students struggled and what do we need to change? And this is a great opportunity to look at those PLDs and integrate that also into our planning. We identified those standards with our thought catcher. We broke them down into our know and show chart where we looked at the skills and the knowledge that students need to that path to mastery, sequencing those, and then creating our daily objectives. And then how are students going to demonstrate their learning through their exit tickets? One thing I want to tell you that I did in the course is you had the Padlet where you posted your know and show charts, and you had a Padlet that we asked you to post your examples of your exit tickets. And I thought, now that the course is over, it would be much easier for you to access if all of that were in one place. So I went in and I combined the exit tickets with the no-show charts. So all of that is together by the TEK in one Padlet. So you have that resource to go back to. Okay. If you have trouble locating any resources, feel free to reach out. And this is the form. If you were with us earlier in the year when we did the instructional planning calendar, exactly the same. The only thing I did is in that first Monday, I put pre-assessment, just to remind you that there is a document in your 6th grade TRS that is a COVID, like a bridge plan, where they have looked at the vertical alignment and made predictions about what students possibly might need review on. That does not mean you have to go back and teach 5th grade curriculum. It just looks at what are those, again, high leverage standards that we want to make students have a grasp on and to be successful in 6th grade. If you click on this link and make a copy of the document, if you wanted to use this form at any time during the year, then you have an editable copy in the document. I also created, if I can get over there, no, where did it go? Well, it went by way too fast. Let me skip back. I also created for you a blank copy of the thought catcher, and where is my document? That the thought catcher, that you could use it with other 6 weeks if you want to. It's a blank one. Let's see what has happened to my documents. Um, There it is. Sorry about that. So here's a blank copy of the thought catcher. Now the links that are here are only for this first 6 weeks, so you would need to take those out or update those. But again, if you click on the link, it gives you an editable copy that you can use each 6 weeks as you're planning. And here is a link to a completed form for the first 6 weeks. I took all of the answers that people turned in, and I went through, read through, made a little tweak here and there, but made sure that everyone had access to this, which is for the first 6 weeks, so you have all of the priority standards. So where does this leave us? As you think about your big picture plan, and you have your discussions with your team, these are the questions that we want you to ponder. What are the high leverage skills and concepts that your team has discussed as being most critical for this first 6 weeks? And now that you have your master schedules and you know more detail about what's expected for online learning and teaching, how will your team group and pace these standards to maximize your daily 80 synchronous minutes? Your 30 minutes of reading instruction, that 30-minute flex time that you have, plus your 20 minutes of SEL. So how can we maximize that time to help students move forward in reading and writing, and also their listening and speaking skills? And also, because this is our first year to use the TRS, one of the things I would encourage you to do is to track by highlighting or starring in your lesson plans where your priority standards are and how often those are recycled or spiraled throughout your curriculum. And then think about how you can leverage the collective work of your colleagues from this course to help you create the IPC for the first 6 weeks. Most people completed their assignments, so there are no-show charts posted for all of the TEKS that are on the thought catcher. You are welcome to look at those resources, the exit tickets, the objectives that people submitted. Again, I encourage you to look at those, take what you need, adjust based on your team's decisions, but use the work that's been done to your advantage. So what I did is I wanted just to show you if I were going to plan, what my planning would look like. So I'm old school. I have to print off the documents because I want to mark them up. And so this is me annotating the documents from Curriculum Central. And then here's my little virtual sticky notes where so I don't forget what I've had my training on this week. I also need to incorporate the online routines and expectations, the SEL curriculum, my digital citizenship, and thinking about those asynchronous activities. What is it kids are going to be doing when they're not with me? I want it to count. I want it to be something valuable that's going to move them forward. It's not just busy work. And also looking at the vocabulary that's there on TRS. How can I incorporate that vocabulary into my daily objectives and into the speech that I use so that I'm sure that students are getting that in context? Also looking at, looking at the IFD, Here's the front of the IFDs for Unit 1 and 2A that are a part of this 6 weeks. And again, looking at what are the components and then taking it over to just a blank piece of paper and starting my little, my notes. I did a tree map and mapped it out using those questions that are in the IFD. And for me, it was focusing on who am I as a reader? Who is a student as a reader? How do I know if I am understanding? And so I built it around those questions. Then I went back and I matched up the TEKS that answered those questions. And I started to think about what literature do I know or have that might help me, that I could read aloud to kids. And then this is a typed up of all that scratching on that paper, how I just drafted out. And again, this would be a rough draft. And knowing that it's flexible and fluid, because it's the first year that we've used that document, I would be, knowing that there would be some shifting around. But from there, taking that plan from weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, looking at that document and how I would plan it out day by day. And in here, I've linked some other resources. There's a digital journal. There's a lesson plan for that book, some word study, just different resources that I might incorporate into this first unit. So it's just a real quick overview. It's nothing new that you haven't seen before. And you have a master schedule on your campus. And if there's anything I can do to help you, please let me know. And I hope that you will enjoy this and the resources that are available. And I look forward to being on your campus this year and supporting your team and your teachers. Thank you.